Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Vicki, and today I'm going to work with napkins. I have a ton of them. It was back, when you're kind of new, you see a video where they're using napkins, so you go out and you see all these napkins and you just buy them and buy them. So then you have a ton and you hardly use them because you get a package with so many in them. So for those that don't know, you've got to separate your napkin. The easiest way, I think, is with a piece of tape. You stick it on there and you pull. Well, that was too easy. But then there's another layer. Sometimes there's three. So you want to get down to the last layer. Well, that is not the last layer. Let me get a fresh piece of tape. Pull that off. These are what I crunch up and use to wipe my glue up with. Okay. There you go. I mean, you can tell it's not, down to the last layer just by looking at it, because they're pretty sheer. So then we're just going to separate them. I'm not sure what else you can use these for, but most people mop up with them, mop up ink. We don't just throw them away. Okay, so there's many ways you can do it. You can use full coverage, partial coverage. I printed this out with the writing so that you see the writing through it. This is what you're kind of looking for, what you're going to see through the napkin. So you want something in there, hopefully. So I'm just going to turn this over and glue this and stick it on there. And hopefully all will go well. So this is the case where you do glue the top. Sometimes we have to check and recheck to make sure we're gluing the correct side. So I find a glue stick is probably the better way to do this. I mean, I suppose you could use wet glue. Whatever works for you, basically. Okay, so you probably don't have a lot of forgiveness with this, so kind of put it where you want it. And you may get wrinklage, that's fine. You may want it to be that way. So we'll just rub it on. So you see with the writing in the background, it just, I mean, some things are printed that way. A lot of the napkins have the printing. So there's a couple different ways to get this off. Personally, I would just use scissors. You could use, let's see, the sanding block. This isn't very thick, but as long as you've glued it to the edge, you should be good. I don't do this very often, so I'm just a little apprehensive. You see, it just comes off with a clear. We're good there. Well, let's just do it. You can get these at any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, by the sanding paper, I think, sandpaper, near the paint department sometimes. Got it? Nope. All right. Okay. And then again, like I said, there's so much napkin. You have a whole lot for another project. Not liking that, so I'm going to probably cut that off. Because that's where probably the napkin was separate, quartered up. So not a problem. You could probably leave that, but I'll just cut it off. This is a very wide tag, so we're good. Still got plenty left. Let's see. I'm going to cut this like that because it's so big. The little tag punch, these aren't very big, so we'll just do that. There you go. All done. A little decorating. Doesn't need much. I brought some things out just to have them ready. I don't know. You can put a tag, label, stamp, number. Decisions. Do I want that? It's awful small. I had some bigger things. Let's see, contentment, that looks fine. These labels are from Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah. The labels, and she does numbers. A lot of people use hers. Well, I guess I should have checked to make sure. Yeah, I'm going to use the bigger one. I think, being it is a big tag, we need to make a statement here. So I'm just going to put that right on there, because I had several I wanted to make. Gotta use up those napkins. That's my goal for this year. Use up stuff. I have so much stuff that I just don't remember I have. Then I find it and I'm like, oh, I could have used that. I'm going to get this is like a lanyard punch. I got this, I believe, on Amazon. A slot punch. Goes by different names. That way you can put your ribbon through there easily. Okay, and I'm going to round the corners because I always do. That was just a little. There we go. Little inking to finish it off. All right. So I spent a lot of time preparing. I had to print. I looked at the napkin. I was like, what do I want to put that on? So this, because it had no writing on the napkin, I thought, well, an old ledger page would be good for that. I guess you could put them on blank paper. You could. Okie doke. Well, I could put a number. Let's see. Number. Let me go for one of these. Let's do this one. I have these printed out in many different sizes. Because you never know. Maybe should have used a really large one on this, but this is fine. And I'm just going to use my finger so that I have glue all over. I'll just put this right here in a somewhat empty-ish spot. There. Call that one done. Okay, I have a Christmas napkin. This is my card. I don't know what I did with that tape. Tossed it aside. Could have used it again. Yeah, usually you only get one layer with your first pass. Now let's go for layer number 2. And that's what we got here, 2. Okay. Probably can't use that again. So this was kind of a busy print, so I think that on there is just fine. I don't know what you, but if you had a paper that was printed, you know, you couldn't have too much. You just want to look at what you're going to see. This, I think it's fine, just the way it is. Just the way it is. Okay, let's make sure how we want to place it. Let's see. If we go here, we can get Santa and the bird. So we'll try to remember that corner is what we're going to aim for. Make sure you get the edges well. Because sometimes just because you run the stick over doesn't mean it got everything. I usually look in the light to make sure. Especially on this. This is where you truly want to get the edges. But you can always stick your tip in there and get what you didn't get. So what did I say? Well, these are both the same. So let's just go here. There. I'm not using sanding block. I'm just going to go with the scissors. Well, I'm just going to loosely do it because I got to glue some more paper on here. Okay, again, probably 3 more projects. Okay, I'm going to rub this. And then I think this would go on here pretty well. Don't want this sticky. You need to be over there. And we'll go this one. Flip it over. Not sure how far I need to go, so I'd rather go too far than not far enough. Okay. I'm just going to go like this. And just kind of put it down. Okay, I think I'm going to let that dry a bit before I cut it, because I'm probably going to use the trimmer. Okay, now I have this, and I can get 2 out of this one. This one I already pulled the paper off of, so we're good there. So this napkin has quite a bit going on. So I found this in my stash, just something I was using ink on. And I thought, you know, underneath here, it looks pretty good. So you see where it's got the stamping of the words. But those are upside down. Let's see if we go this way. Can we see them? Upside down. So we don't really want to go that tall. We coulda, but we're not. So that means we've got to cut it like about 1.5 inches off. So I'll just cut off of this end. 1.5 inches. Close enough. Okay. So we'll glue this one. You know, if you get everything laid out, it can go pretty quickly. If you wanted to do a bunch of napkins at one time from the same package or just different packages. I don't know how many you'd want from the same package. There's so many napkins in a package, let me tell you. I have so many napkins. I started with one little drawer and then it grew. And you got a ton of napkins. I'm going to just kind of plop it right there. Okay. Now this one is where you see there's a print on here, so you just see that through there. So I think I'll put that one right there in the corner. I was going to put it there, but maybe another smaller tag, but I'm going to put that one right there to get the full use of the butterfly. So this is a thicker, because this was cardstock, I believe. And I think it's glued to something. My where I fold over my scrapbook paper and glue them together. It makes a somewhat sturdy of a piece, but it's not super sturdy. It's okay, like for a tag in a journal. Some people like them real firm, some don't mind if they're a little bit pliable, I guess. Because I've gotten things that I've thought in the end were just too stiff. I'm like, oh man. Oh, so we see what I did. Glued the wrong side. What to do? I could put that on here. You know what? I'm going to start here. And put it right here. Then I'm going to glue that. And roll it over. Okay. Looking at this, it looks like I did the wrong side on that one as well. Oh boy. I'm not used to doing napkins. So what I'm going to do with this one is the same exact thing. Get my scissors. Free it from this. And I've got to cut this off. And I'm going to put, let's see, I've got that butterfly, so let's go ahead with this. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Some mistakes are mistakes, others aren't that bad of a mistake. You can always fix it, work with it. Okay. Fortunately, this wasn't too thick of a piece. Well, my lid's somewhere. Okay, now let's get this on there. Kind of like right there. I should do one scrunched, but I don't know. Might as well. I mean, what in the world? Okay, these I'm going to let dry as well. Okay, then there's this one. Let's see if we can get it right. Okay, we've got this paper I thought would be nice to put this on. After we rip it down, I want to get a good grip on this. Oh, looked like it was separated. Sometimes that happens. Okay. So the little chickadee, I don't know if I want her name. Let's do this side. And because of the way this is, we can go a little taller than just the little bit of square we have. Okay, make sure that's not sticky. Okay, the correct side. Eventually you get down with it after you've done a bunch. Then again, if you're not paying attention, which it's just a hazard of working while you're videoing. You're so busy trying to talk, give instructions, say things, that you just miss the obvious. Happens. I don't edit, so I can't hide it from you. Let's go sideways. And let's see, let's go right there. Now, how pretty does that look? And then the back, you can stamp on it, stencil on it, or cover it with paper. There's options. Okay, I have this stamp here because I think I was going to use it for this one. Okay, I think I need a new tape. I mean, isn't that pretty? That's a big one. Although it's kind of flip-flop, but I can kind of fake it. Okay. Now, is that it? Kind of looks like it's just the one. I'll try it, but I don't think so. I think that's it. At least we're going to say it is. I don't want any disasters. So what I'm going to do here is stamp on this. Let me find my black soot. Distress oxide. And I have this stamp, so I don't need to do the whole thing, but I mean, it doesn't matter if it's dark, light, you know, just get it on there. I mean, you could possibly like stamp in every direction, but I like a little uniformity. I'm not one for too much of that. Okay. I have that one tall journal. That's why I'm making some tall tags. And this just fits. So this is going to go, hope that ink's dry, on here like so. And I think that's very, very pretty. Okay, how are we with, not horrible. I won't flip it yet. I mean, you could stamp other things on here as well. If you wanted to stamp on flowers, I have that, which wouldn't, necessarily work for this one, but for another one, you could stamp images, stencil images. That'd be a good idea. Okay, my cupboard. That's my question. Am I going to be able to get this off the page? That's my next question. Okay, that page I think is done for. Okay, now I want to get this on. I want to start at the bottom because this is the right side and this is upside down. So you just can't really tell. It's not that dominant. There. That's just nice. That's just pretty. Okay, did I have... Oh, I had a triple thing going on here. Okay. I had 3 I could get out of this napkin. I mean, this is a pretty busy napkin. It's got words, a lot of color, so you don't necessarily need a lot of... Oh, I'd have known that. Let's see. Is the other piece loose? Yes, it is. Well, had I known, I wouldn't have had to use the tape. Okay. So this is going to look like this. So I think that's just fine the way it is. I don't need to. Well, I don't even know if you'll be able to tell that anything was done. Oh, maybe. Okay. Add a little. Of course, now I gotta dry it. I think it dries pretty quick. Oh, that's... If you don't all sticky, let's move on. The correct side. Let me start with this side. Okay. Fold it over. Okay, I think I got it all. Open that out. Well, now I have a lot of tags. Now, let's just go over a little. So that's what we got there. Now we've got this one. I'll just leave that one white, just to have a different look. Okay. Let me glue this. No, I better not. That might not end well. I mean, this was not too difficult getting it on there, but if it was curled the other way, it might be a problem. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. I'm going to just do this one like this. See how that goes. I mean, why not? Right there. I don't know how close I need to be. Good. Let's go ahead and rough this one up a little bit. Actually, let's go for the ground espresso. This was my first My first ink, my first dauber. Over 3 years ago, possibly going on 4 now. Maybe 5, I don't know, I've lost track. Okay. A little bit of undertonement. Did I glue on that? I don't even remember. It feels a little wet, but I think I'll be fine. I think this was the last one, wasn't it? Pretty sure. And there's a lot of pretty napkins out there. You know, you look at napkins, you're like, oh, but I have to look at them and say, oh no, you have too many. Well, this doesn't matter. Let me just put it on here. This is the I should have scrunched one. Oop. I should have. Okay, now some of these have got to be somewhat dry. I knew there was a lid somewhere. Okay, what did I have? I don't remember where I tossed them. Here's the Christmas one. I was going to use that trimmer on this one. Can barely see where to trim. Did I kind of miss that corner somewhat? Can't tell what I've done. Well, let's try to square it up. I think that was good. Well, pretty good. Okay. Again, I'm going to just do my own. I've been watching a lot of videos and I see people doing this all the time with little tiny corners. I'm like, oh, it takes me longer because I have to get my fingers out of the way. Around the corners. I mean, look how pretty. Let's do another one of these. Although you could just put a topper without this. But, so let's ink it so that it looks its best. So it looks all nice and proper. Still a little wet, I can feel it. Let's get that. Do the back. I mean, I don't think I will ever probably write in a journal, but I might. But I'll just leave it like it's meant for writing, because that's the idea of a journal, to write in. And I don't know what's going to end up with these journals. I just don't know. Someone may get it that wants to actual journal. Okay. So I brought out some Christmas things, but I don't see where this needs a lot of stuff. I mean, if you put that on there, it's going to just be lost. Let's see. There's a heart. Let me ink it so we can look at it, how it's going to look when it goes to its new home. If it goes. We don't know. Really didn't change it that much. I mean, that's cute. It's like, what do you cover up? Maybe I'll just put it right there. Let me get this. I don't think it needs that. I'll just glue that on there. There. gives it a little bit of a personal touch. I mean, look at that. You can't even tell it's a napkin. Feels good. It'll slide right down in the pocket. Great. This one we'll put over there. What was next? Wasn't this one. Okay, let's look at these ones that were messed up. Okay. Well, not messed up, but you know. Ones that just didn't play right and got their cover on the wrong side. Let's just go down this side. I'm trying to line this up along that edge. And we'll do that. I mean, it is cute. It's very thin, but that's okay. I'm thinking, if I really hated it, I could just glue something on the back, but I don't know. I think once it dries, it's going to be fine. I'm just going to use this. See how small those are? But some people, they even cut them that small, so what do I know? It's your journal. Do whatever you like. That's the rule. So now let me just put a little ink on this so we have its true look. This would be pretty with some blue seam binding, but I don't have blue. I have green, 2 shades of green, 2 shades of like tan, and like a rose. I need to order more. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't ordering too much stuff that I wasn't really using. Because it's not like it's really expensive, but it's more expensive than some things that I get. Plus you have to pay shipping. And I like to order off Etsy and, you know, support a small store. So you just got to bite the bullet on the shipping. Okay, that's cute. Okay, there. Thought there was another one that was done. Okay, we had these 2 here, so let's get this in here. So I was using my new Tim Holtz Deckle Edge trimmer. And you have to hold this plastic down when you slice. Otherwise, it just, you know, it's just too loose. So I was trimming something. You see it has the deckle edge. Let me trim something here. Again, you hold it down. Well, you need to get it a little further from the edge so you get this deckled edge. So I had my paper in there, and it was just a small piece, and my thumb crossed over the line, and I slammed this thing down. I mean, I didn't slam it, but it hurt for like 30 minutes. But the blade is on the side. You see, so this is the part that hit my thumb. So I'm thinking, what if I did that with my other trimmer? But I've never have. I don't know why it was over there. It just was one of those things. Hopefully I learned my lesson. We can only hope. I'm going to make this one a journal card. So it just gets all rounded edges. And I don't really see that this needs much on it. That didn't look right. That looks like the napkin was short right there, but you know, you can't even tell. Also, you can just do, you know, corner to corner and leave that part. You don't have to cover the whole thing. This is just one way, and I just didn't make one the other way because I didn't have any prepared tags that weren't blank. They were all blank except that one that I printed, and that took me so long I didn't want to start looking around for something to print to get another one. So when that's totally dry, then you can look for corners that are coming up. Let's see, let's look at this one. Now this one's going to be tough because I can't trim it in the trimmer. So this is what this is going to look like when it's done. The next time you see it, it's going to be in a journal because I'm not going to finish that one because I'd have to get out my knife and everything. So this is just great for the for this because it's a thicker piece of cardstock. Well, it's two things glued together. Okay, so it really goes pretty quick when it's dry and thick. I mean, it's probably quicker than. You kind of go down at an angle. You can rough up pages. You can rough up a tag maybe with this. I don't know. But this gives you a good clean edge. Okay. This too is going to be a journal card because it's so big. I don't need a ton of big tags. It is Christmas. One day I will do a Christmas journal. It's got to get in line with all my other projects. Now on the back I could stencil, and I probably will, but I don't know what. If I don't really have a Christmas stencil, but one day I might. Or I'll find something that looks good. Either a tree stencil would be cute, or bird, as long as it looked like that. I'm calling that a chickadee because I think that's what it is. And I don't know a whole lot about birds. I know the basics: a bluebird, red cardinal. Was this all of them? I may have tossed something over here. I don't know what I did. Maybe not. Nope, yes, this one. The sunflower, but that's done. So on this, these again are thin, so I'm not going to sand them. I'm going to actually find something to glue on the back. Let's see, I'm at 43 minutes, so I'm going to end this video. But that's what I'm going to do. I will just let you know that I'm going to glue something to the backs to finish out these tags. So let's get the ones that we've finished. Okay, we have that one, the Christmas, sunflower. Well, these are both Christmas, but, and these two. And this one that I couldn't properly finish, but we can still look at it. But I have, you know, different tags, stamps that you can decorate these up with. Whatever floats your boat. Well, I might put that on there. It's a possibility. Okay, I'm going to end this now. Thank you all for watching. I hope you found some inspiration here. And have a nice day.